Hailing from Medaroth 7 as one of the Mayan gods series and final boss of the game, it is the Azathoth type, COT00 Chaos Fixer, with a kit of Super Repair, Double Break Hammer, Multi-Legs, and the leg ability of Shape Memory, which when charging Metaforce will allow Chaos Fixer to equalize his total HP across all parts, and in addition will also restore broken ones while equalizing HP. Now, as a final boss, or as a boss type in general, Chaos Fixer is already bringing a lot of very dangerous skills to the table that, when used correctly, can make him an incessant pain in the neck on the field or a very big headache for you if he is your enemy. Super Repair is a much stronger variant of Basic Repair, and as such will give you a much higher HP pool replenishment when using a healing skill on himself or an ally, especially given that it is tied to the healing skill of the medal if you want to get an even higher restore bonus on top of that. Break Hammer is a gravity attribute melee skill that, when used, will get a success bonus when reaching certain Metaforce thresholds, but is also widely known and loved for its ability with Heavy Punish, which means when attacking a foe with 2 or more heavy parts, will introduce a much more painful blow and more likely to break a lot of parts at once, in contrast to a lighter weight model that is, say, using 1 or even none at all. The multi-legs do also grant Chaos Fixer moderately solid coverage across most terrains pretty easily, and the Shape Memory ability is also very nice as it allows Chaos Fixer a much longer duration and an extended duration on the field if he's left to his own devices and if things start breaking. Now, across the board though, he is honestly very solid, especially as a dominant heavy punish in this case, but despite this, he also does have a moderately decent number of glaring weaknesses to his advantage, which kinda hurt his overall viability. The first of which is all of his parts are heavy, which means even though he is good at dishing out the heavy punish, he is also just as susceptible of taking it while being very quickly broken. However, this is something he can kind of use to his advantage, and as long as his legs aren't broken, he is still able to kind of equalize himself back on the field as long as he can kind of cover for his own self, which he does moderately well between Shape Memory and Super Repair. Even if he is hammered more than once over and over again, as long as his legs are not broken right away, he can moderately restore himself pretty well, I guess, without anything really standing in his way. But if his legs go down, he's absolutely done. As a pure set score for these reasons, I do have to rate Chaos Fixer a very solid 7.5 across the board. He is very tanky, he has pretty moderate base damage across the board too, and between Super Repair and Shape Memory, he actually can cover for himself and his own survivability moderately well without anyone really needing to assist him or keep his HP high. The only time that really becomes an issue is if his legs are of course broken, where he can no longer hold his own, as if his legs are broken but everything else is intact, he is slowed down to a crawl. As mixed parts, however, I do have to rate him much higher at an 8 out of 10. Once again, given that all 3 of his parts are heavy, it means you will have to kind of take that into consideration when using them, but they do honestly have a much better payout for the reasons of being heavy. In this case, with his arms, he does have a much higher base power and more armor in contrast to a standard part that has regular Break Hammer to it. And of course, multi-legs of course for solid terrain, Shape Memory for extended survivability for anyone you want to use them on. This chunky fellow honestly does kind of make himself useful in pretty much any role you want to use him for, between support, survivability, and of course heavy punish. Now it is also worth noting with Chaos Fixer in addition that he is also a gender N-type bot, which means you can use its parts anywhere on a male or female tin pet very freely for ultimate flexibility, aside from of course having triple heavy.